one here because the victor will book their place in that all-important final. Trinity College, of course, having an impressive run so far in the competition, will be looking to continue their brilliant run in the quarterfinals. They met St. Thomas's College 24-15 was the score. Anand College, of course, in the Premier Trophy quarterfinal went up with Richmond College, winning it 57 points to 7. St. Benedict's winning against Malayadeva College 24 points to 21. Prince of Wales winning against Carey College 99. A massive victory for them to the 3 points of Carey College. Royal College won at their quarterfinal against DSN Anayaka College 41 points to 24. And the pick of the quarterfinals, Isipatana College were beating Wesley College 24 points to 10. It was a very interesting quarterfinal lineup that we had. Zahira College, of course, getting a bye due to St. Peter's College pulling out of the competition. So it's going to be a 2-week break that Zahira would have used to good effect. They will want to make sure they will come out all guns blazing in this competition. Today's fixtures, a little while earlier, we had Anand College who took on Lumbini College, and it was an interesting game. And now here, Trinity taking on Zahira College. Here's the road to the final. Like I mentioned, Zahira College won their pre-quarter final against Vidya Ch College 16 points to 12, booking their place in the semi-final. Received a bye as St. Peter's College pulled out. Trinity, on the other hand, had a brilliant run against the Antonians, their hometown rivals, the Kandy derby, and winning that 62 points to 5. They met the Thomians, who got the better of their Mount Lavinia rivals. Mount Lavinia derby won by the Thomians, and against the Thomians, the 24-15 performance last weekend at the London place has brought them up to here. On the other side of the table, Royal College winning their game against Kinsut College, met DSN Anayaka College, who won their game against Dharmaraja. Royal getting the better of DSN Anayaka 41 points to 24, have booked their place in the semi-final. In the lower end of that half, we had Wesley College who beat St. Joseph's in a crackle-lacking game, 36 points to 23, and Isipatana College with a big win, 61 points to 0 against St. Sri Sumangala College. Kandy met up with Wesley in the semi-final. 10 points to 24 was the score. With in that semi-final, Isipatana booking their place with their traditional rivals, Royal College here in the semi-final, which will be worked out on the 11th. What we'll do now is we'll go for a quick commercial break. When we come back, we will have more the team cards and the live action of this first semi-final of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout 25.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Our forests come in many forms. They can be up in the hills or down in the plains, fed by the rain or sculpted by the sun. Our forests are deeply rooted in us. They are a living inspiration.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා. ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
රුපියල් 50 මැල්බන් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තු මිසර විහිදේ එක්ක සිට බැඳා ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් දපේ
හිටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Radials. The road is yours.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
බිත්තියට ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් පෆ් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් chill වෙන්න ලෙමන්.
සරටම enjoy කරන්න party එකට go.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
සමහර බැඳීම් ජීවිත කාලයටමයි. නිපොන් සිමෙන්ති.
දවසම refresh වෙන්න train එකට go.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තු මිසර විහිදේ එක්ක සිට බැඳා ෆයිනල් ෆැෂන් දපේ
හිටක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
As the pioneer in Sri Lanka's bottled water industry, American Water has set the standard for over 3 decades to help you stay hydrated wherever you may roam, to provide healthy hydration for your whole home, and to nourish your growing family. With island-wide distribution, we've reached the homes and hearts of every Sri Lankan, ensuring healthy hydration for all. For over 30 years, we've brought the Earth's bounty directly to you, wherever you are, whatever your needs.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
හරි. ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවට බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස.
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Follow your dreams, achieve
your goals. With every step, let your story unfold. In this world you will shine. Just believe it's your time. Sky is the ultimate limit. Never can you stop any day.
Chase your dream career with eSoft Metro Campus.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක. බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. ඉඳගන්න.
Welcome back to the action from Royal Complex. It's Trinity taking on Zahira College in the first semi-final of Dialog Schools Rugby Knockouts 2025. We are moments away from the all-important encounter as we take a look at the groups of the league and the two teams making their way to the middle. Both the teams will go through their final huddle as we quickly take a look at the Zahira College starting lineup. Zain Hassan, Rian Rushan, Arfat Hamid, Akif Azmil Rivnaz, Fazlat, Farhan Yusuf, Iyad Ishan and Shiab Ishan making up the forwards. For the backs we have Basit Feroz, Hakim Chunchi, Ghani, Saraf, Zain, Zaim, Lukman Nadim, Benuk Pereira and Abdullah Hassan making up the starting 15, and the finishers Rahim Imraz, Zarab Muzil, Riaz, Inshan, Abdin and Inam making up the match day squad for the Zahirians. For Trinity, largely unchanged lineup from their last encounter. Manusha Silva, Nisit Kumar Singh, Achinta Jayasena, Akash Fernando, Nijikodituaku, Evin Jayasena, Hamza Abdeen and Shrine Satish Kumar making up the forwards. And for the backs, Udan Vijay, Abdul Malik, Bilal Nasir, Usman Safras, their skipper Sat Veeravansa, Minulayat Dehige and Sean Altaf, the starting 15 with the finishers Pereira, Thomas, Tilakaradna, Udukumbura, Kumaravansa, Premachanda, Nemeth and Mansil making up the squad for Trinity College. Trinity College will be kicking off from left to the right of your screens with Zahira readying themselves to receive on the right of your screens. It will be Abdul Malik who will have the responsibility of starting the proceedings. Going to be an interesting one because Trinity will be looking to put a marker and Zahira will be looking to make sure to announce that they belong in the big leagues. Neatly collected by Zahira. The first miss pass. Wayward. Here's an opportunity for Manusha. Manusha Silva goes. And that is the first Amana Bank try of the game coming through the Trinity prop. Manusha Silva. Just like that, pouncing on that pass which was wavered, and Manusha Silva touches down for Trinity College just even before the rings of that starting whistle wears off here at the complex. Bouncing ball, being good to Manusha, and he says, I'll go all the way. Touches down, first goal for Trinity College.
Just goes to show, Sudarshana, the difference in conditioning between these two sides. Trinity are a very well-conditioned side. They're strong man for man. And Zahira are going to front up. They're going to need to front up to make sure that those mistakes don't lead to more tries. Manusha Silva, one of the strongest men on the park, as Sean Altaf slots this one home. And it's an early 7-point lead. That'll settle the nerves.
Early lead for Trinity College. And the message would have been very clear from the coaching staff. They will want, it's not the victory that they would be after. They will want to make sure that everything that they planned in the run-up to the week is executed by the Trinitians. Zahira, on the other hand, will want to make sure that they minimize the mistakes. They learned it the hard way in the opening minutes that their mistakes are going to be pounced upon. Deep kick collected by Hige at the back. Carrying it forward outside the 22. Vijay to Altaf, who puts the ball to boot. Doesn't find touch collected by the Zahirian fullback Basit. Zahira with their reply. Good kick and a decent chase as well. Trinity trying to attack at the outside corridors. Was isolated momentarily. Here's Malik to boot ball carrier Hamza. Trinity looking to run Altaf now. Coming up and taking on the kicking duties. Again, just like last week, Trinity looking to play that territorial game. Altaf this time decides to run. Was expecting the man to be on the outside who had cut back inside. That was Hige. Udan trying to slow things down a little bit. He'll love to go for a kick from base. Basit underneath on the counter. The tackle on him was good, and Trinity trying to tackle that ball, but the ruck was formed.
Quite a bit of tactical kicking, Sudarshana, and not all of it was terrible either. It was actually some decent kicking from both teams and good chasing as well. This is a really good chase, not allowing a lot of time for Basit there. He had to step towards the touchline, and that's where Trinity thought they could turn the ball over, but just conceding that penalty.
Not really getting the connection that he was looking for on that touch finder. Line out in Trinity half for Zahira.
First time for Zahira to actually have the ball with them. Sudarshana, feel it through the hands. This is going to be an interesting moment. Do they have the confidence to take on, especially after that early try, to take on this big Trinity side?
Short man line out, opting to set it up for the Zahirians. Hamza tries to hold on to that ball, but referee says you need to get back, son. Referee calls once, and Zahira opting to go through their big Zain Hassan. Now space on the outside. Knocked back, says the referee, but the call coming from the touchline that it went forward. So Trinity will be breathing a big sigh of relief because Zahira looked like they were onto something there.
There was acres of space there, Sudarshana. Watch this pass. This is where the space is. And that's where the pass needed to go. It needed to go before he made contact. That's Zain Zahim there in the number 12 jersey. As soon as he beat his man, he needed to make the pass. And this is where Sri Lankans really need to learn so much more from watching the New Zealand under-85s tomorrow. When to pass after you committed the man.
Absolutely. The moment you contact, you need to try and use that defender who sucked into you. Vijay to Altaf, who puts ball to boot. Doesn't get the distance, but has acre space. Opportunity for Zahira. Players need to start playing to the whistle, but no harm done for Trinity as they get possession through a scrum. Here's the kick from Altaf.
Noticed early on they're putting him under a lot of pressure, Sudarshana. So Shan Altaf is a marked man this season. All the teams that come out against Trinity are going to be having him in his sights. But that kick squirted off the side of his boot. Still could have made something happen, but Zahira alive to the danger. So first scrum of the game, let's see how this one goes.
Who's been a standout player for Trinity College throughout the last season and this one so far. In the first 3 games, that's going to be a high shot. Referee straight away playing advantage. High shot on the Trinity skipper, Usman. Referee Shankar will have a word. Try and consult the assistant referee on where the contact point was. And has decided that it was way too high for their liking, so Basit Feroz will have to spend 10 minutes in the mid. Not ideal for Zahira. They're down 7 points and now they're down a man for the next 10 minutes.
It was a head-on tackle, wasn't it, Sudarshan? And that's what made the difference there. That's why they had to look at it again, because it was straight shoulder contact to the neck and a head-on collision. So it's always going to be a little bit dangerous for the attacking player. Not a little bit, fair bit dangerous for the attacking player, and almost always will result in a card for the defender.
Onidja Kodituaku, the man who has been entrusted with the throwing duties for Trinity. Hamza wriggling a little bit before getting that ball out. Usman to Sadish. Ambitious pass, so a lot of work needs to be done by Nazir to refrain it from going out of bounds. Kodituaku with a kick from base inside the 22 and drops it cold. Zahira. Trinity collecting it. All he had to do was collect that ball and call mark. That's why the awareness of where you are in the field comes in handy.
Sudarshan, I watched Udan Vijayakun last season. I saw something very special about him. But now he really has grown into that potential this season. And you said he's been captaining through GH groups as well. So he's a leader. He knows exactly what is required at the back of the scrum. And he's making some really good decisions. That was a fantastic kick.
Yes, so Udan Vijayakun's contributions in that Trinity jersey is very, very important to this season, because remember, Trinity does not have many leaders in that forwards pack except for maybe Satish Kumar and Manusha. So they need to make sure that they have a good leader. Here's Malik to Bazir. Vijayakun now to Satish Kumar. Offloads to Jaya Sena. It's a home and home battle in the Jaya Sena household, with the father being the forwards coach of Zahira. Here's Hamza carrying it forward. Vijayakun has a little bit of digging to do, and in goes Achinta Jayasena. Losing the ball forward. Some reprieve for Zahira.
Well, the only saving grace is Evin is probably boarded up in Trinity, and Kavinda is having to ply his trade here in Colombo. You watch this one again. That's the kind of carry that Trinity don't need to make. They need to just make sure that they run into the gap. And again, this attitude of Sri Lankan players of just looking for the hard collision, that's something that we maybe need to start changing our mindset about.
Surely, Sri Lankans do not have the stature to go head on as Shahib gets away from the initial tackle. Zahira opting to play inside their own 22. Dangerous waters, looking to make that angle a little better, but this time kick through Binuko Pereira. Doesn't find touch, but the chase is good from Zahira. Very well done that time, despite being isolated. The ball carrier was Abdullah Hassan. Kick from base finds Malik. Strike back. Opts to go for a flat kick. Options, plenty of options available for the Zahirians. Opt to go to their winger on the far side. That's Hassan. Zahira guilty of not settling the ball down in the recycled areas, trying to throw it around. And with this Trinity outfit, if you are going to do that, you will have to pay. They will put you under pressure in that collision area. This time again going deep. Safrash. But about Nasir that time. Carrying it for Trinity. Opportunity now for the bats. As Altaf gives it to the big Jayasena. Achinta Jayasena. Usman to Hamza. Hamza straightening things up. Show and go. Hamza still going. cover tackle coming in finally. Vijay Kaul, Altaf. That was a little too high for Manusha to collect, but referee Abekun says there was a penalty advantage for Trinity.
Trinity turning defense into attack. Once again, that line speed, slowing things down after the line break was made by Zahira Sudarshan, and that's where they're really effective, that they really slot things down or stop things very quickly, and that was a little bit too high for Manusha there. A bit more accuracy in the passing, but it's a nice break by Hamza as well. But once again, once he got through the line, once he got behind the defense, he just needed to look for the quicker man, didn't he?
Yes, he would have done well to look for the quicker man on the outside and then try and support him, maybe on the inside shoulder, because the defense would have moved to the winger Yadhige. Trinity opted to go for a 5-man line out here. Trinity's, despite their dominance in the 2 games they've played, they haven't had the very good luck with their handling. Going forward, now it's been brought down. We'll have to dig for the ball. Zahira falling on top of that, but referee says bringing that ball down illegally. Quickly taken by Vijay Kaul. Here's Vijay Kaul. Referee Abekun says wrong mark, son.
So that's something I'd have a word about to Udan Vijay Kaul from the bench, Sudarshan, and say, look, you don't have to play this game at 100 miles an hour, because if you play to your potential, you're going to get into the final, most likely. So you want to make sure you get things right. So this is the best thing they've done. Go to the line out, make sure that they get their set pieces right.
Fernando is the preferred receiver this time around, leading a number 4. Trinity changing the point of attack. But Zahira managing to shove them to the corners, and some of these sponsor banners are getting in our way. But from the signal, it seems like it has been held up by Zahira, doing very well to hold it up.
Outstanding defense by Zahira there, and this is what Trinity need to do to make sure they get those small things right, and they need to rehearse before the final if they are to get into it. But if they're going to defend like they've done so far, it was the first minute of the game that they let that try in off a loose ball, Sudarshana. But since then, for the last 11 minutes, Zahira have defended really stoutly.
All credit to the Zahirians for their defensive effort. Will they be able to hold that for the full 70 minutes is going to be the question. Here's Altaf with the wraparound. Takes ball to contact. Recycled by Udan. Jayasena. Now Akash, Fernando with the carry, and that's going to be a penalty all day of the week. Beautiful work by the Zahirian number 10, and it's always brilliant to see a number 10 doing that. Hakim Chunchi waited, hands on the ball and rips it off.
Great technique in the turnover there, and again well done to Zahira for that defense. They just allowed Trinity to run at them, absorb, and then pounce when they need to. And this is a Zahira team with still 1 man in the bin, Sudarshana, so they've been defending for the last many minutes with 1 man short in the defensive line. So it's been really interesting how they've chosen to go about this. They haven't panicked too much, and that's good to see. We could be in for a match here.
Well, seems like the memo from the Trinity camp to these boys have been to play this game at pace, because you could see from the early exchanges that they're looking to try and speed things up. And I do agree with you, Trinity, if they can try and slow this down and try and make it a little more physical, it will give them a little bit of an edge, because they have the bigger set of players. Zahira going to number 6, clean ball for them. Zain Zain puts ball to boot. Altaf gets away with the step. Altaf running on the Altaf. 1 man to beat. Does Sean Altaf will go all the way and touches down for the second Amana Bank try for Trinity College. Absolutely out of nothing there, because everybody here, if you were a Zahira fan, would have expected Shan Altaf to return the favor with a kick, but he says, no, I can run as well.
What we noticed from last week as well, Sudarshan, is that he's really worked on his pace in the off-season. The guy has got a pair of afterburners, and once the turbos kick in, then he's very, very difficult to stop. And ironically for Zahira, it was that really good chase that set up the try, because Altaf couldn't kick. He was under too much pressure. He had to move laterally, and then he saw the space, and then he knew he was isolated, so he had to go for broke. He had to put the fend on, and fortunately for him, it worked. What a stunning try.
It's brilliant stuff from Shan Altaf, collecting it, having the vision that there is space on the outside tram lines, and also having that pace and backing his pace up. Big no argue for the final tackler, Abdullah Hassan, and from then on it was just a trot to the whitewash.
It's what we talk about dog legs, isn't it, Sudarshana, where they had two chasers, Zahira, coming up really fast on Altaf, and they know that if they can corner him, catch him with the ball, then they make Trinity run back. But what happened there was one of the chasers slipped, and then he was out in front of the other chasers that weren't keeping their line, and that's what created that space. Altaf, to his credit, saw it, and all he needed was 1/10 of a second to take the gap.
Zahira has now been restored to the original number. So we'll want to make sure that they try and keep a cap on these Trinity's running backs. Yet again, a deep kick collected by Yadehege, who wants to run it and try and get the connection early. But entering that from the side was number 6 for Trinity College. Number 7 rather, Hamza. Well, I think number 6, Nisit Kumar Singh, had to enter that ruck through the gate.
It's all about discipline, isn't it? Doesn't matter if you're 12-0 up, you really want to make sure you get that exit right. And that's what Fazil Marja will be shaking his head about there. Making sure you exit well is a really important facet of the modern game. And now they're under pressure on their own 5-meter line.
Best opportunity for Zahira so far in this game. 5 meters out, and they go to number 4, setting it up, are the Zahirians. Now they've gotten a little bit of momentum to a penalty advantage coming in favor of the Zahirians. Trinitians guilty of not being behind that line, and now they are going for the line, and Zahira have their first Amana Bank try. See who's come away with it. We haven't been able to see the number yet.
But it's a forwards try, isn't it, Sudarshan? A really nicely executed line out. We had the receiver coming in to the middle of the line out and taking it nicely. Trinity choosing not to contest there. Here we go. That ball was straight into the hands, but doesn't matter under the new rules. And they set up really nicely. Great body position. And the penalty was already coming, so they knew that they could shove this one over, or try at least. And with that kind of momentum that they got, they just managed to turn it around, and Trinity maybe looked a little bit complacent in the way they defended that maul. But not the best. Well, that did manage to curl around. Bend it like Beckham.
Well, Zahirians are better known for their footballing antiques, and every one of these guys would have tried the round-shaped ball game first. Take a look at that. Look at the bend. Just before it crosses that crossbar, bending towards the goal post. 7 points to 12. It was
Abdullah Hassan with the conversion, but Farhan Fazlat, who actually scored the try. Outstanding work from him. But it took a lot of discipline to keep the ball in that maul without while fighting the urge to break away there, Sudarshana, because it looked for a moment that Trinity had got it to stop, but it wasn't, and they managed to keep going, swivel it around, and that's what got them over. So it's interesting that Zahira have scored a try against a bigger team off the driving maul, and they managed to defend one at the other end as well. This will give them some confidence, and this period now between half-time and this 20-minute mark is going to be really crucial for how this game is going to go, because Zahira have showed them they're here to play.
100%, and like you mentioned, if you have the proper technique, yes, the size of the forwards just coming to play, but if you have the proper technique, you will be able to get some purchase if all 8 work as one, and Zahira have showcased that so far. Yet again, a mistake of the formation from Zahira College. Here's Malik to Usman. Usman didn't make up his mind. He was presenting the ball in front, and all it needed was a little nudge from the defender for Usman to cough it up. Ran casually and way exposed. Didn't make up his mind whether he was going for contact or for the pass.
It's just coming off an injury, Sudarshana, so that's probably on the back of his mind as well, whether he can go in for that hard hit or whether he can step. So just until he finds that confidence back in his knee, there might be a few moments like this. But good advantage played by referee Shankar Bekon. There was a knock-on the far side, and he deemed that because there were players over and Usman went into the gap, that was advantage over.
Zahira under pressure, but managing to get the ball out. Zahirians will do well to try and slow down a little bit, and Trinity have managed to tackle that ball. But yet again, brilliant work from Zain Hassan, getting over that ball despite Trinity holding on to it. Their tackling technique has been pretty brilliant. Here, Zahira was guilty of not securing their ball. Trinity coming away with it. Hamza goes down, and Zain goes there, gets his hands on the ball and says, "That's mine."
Hamza looked like he didn't want to give that one up after he had turned it over. But really good technique by Zain, and not having a kicker in their ranks who can go for goal from 40 meters out. They opt for touch, Sudarshana. So another interesting line out coming. And if you remember earlier on in the game also, Trinity were guilty of showing some space to Zahira on the outside. So they will be backing themselves from here.
Trinity this time will do well to try and contest for the ball. Put the hooker and the jumpers under pressure, but yes, that was blatantly not straight. Referees are going to blow for that. Could have very easily thrown it to Yon fly off. It's on the outside shoulder of the jumper.
And they did well to put a man up there in the middle of the line out as well, Trinity, just to make sure that the referee wasn't able to give them a free ball. So the rule is with the intent to get defending teams to compete, Sudarshana, so more things can happen off the line out. It's not just a catch and drive. So good to see Trinity throwing a man up there. Vijay Koon will need to wrest some momentum back.
Altaf with the kick to exit. Goes inside the 22 meters. Opportunity for Zahira and a little bit of time as well. As they find touch inside Trinity's half. The territorial kicking from both the teams have been very good, but Zahira in the past couple of minutes have shown a lot of promise.
I've really liked the way they've settled down after the 15-minute mark, Sudarshana. They came into this game quite emotional, may have been a bit rattled early on, and that's when Trinity went in and took the lead. But since then, they've been very intelligent about the way they've approached this. They've been very technically sound as well. Liking what I see so far.
Jayasena goes up, sets it up from number 4. Not much of resistance from Zahira, so Trinity will look to drive this as much as they possibly can. Kodituaku lost his footing. Luckily for Trinity, he wasn't holding on to the ball. Here's Vijay Koon taking the ball and putting it to boot. I'm perplexed as to why, because there were plenty of space on the outside. But Zahira with the counter now. Men on the outside for Zahira. Onto the corner. Here's Hassan, who is outrun by Sean Altaf. But a promising run. This will lift the spirits of the Zahirians. They will know if they want to try and exploit Trinity's space. Take a look at that lazy leaf by Sadisha. And quick ball out. It's the forwards who get the ball out to the backs, Shanaka.
Really nicely done, and that's what we were talking about. They did show them some space. Hamza got across, made a half tackle, and then in the end, the fullback doing his job, Sean Altaf.
Again, Trinity wanted to go to number 4. Satish Kumar carries it for the lads from the Hill Capital. Altaf. Good deep kick and finds Hassan, who replies in kind, but he has kicked it out on the full. So opportunity for Trinity. There was a player who was involved in that ruck, Shanaka, who went down with a lot of pain, and he did have his elbow wrapped up heavily. Hopefully it's nothing serious, but the way he went down, he did look like he was in a lot of pain.
Yeah, he wheeled away from that breakdown really concerningly, didn't he, Sudarshan? Just as if someone had just opened the door and spring had come out of it. So let's wait and see whether we can see exactly what happened there. But unfortunate there for Zahira from Abdullah Hassan. He just didn't manage to keep that in the field of play. Looks like he just might have lost his bearings of where he was and forgotten the rule that he couldn't kick it out. Here it is. I think it's number 7 who goes in there. And oh dear, I think he might have popped his shoulder.
His hand got caught with that clearance. I think Abdul Hassan, what happened there was he was attempting for that 50-22 and he had all the right to, just didn't get that direction right.
He's got a thumping boot on him. I don't think he realized the power of it himself. And coming back to play is Iyad Yusuf, who was the man who had that shoulder problem. He's heavily strapped in his upper arm, so it's obviously a pre-existing condition. And when you're here, Sudarshana, and if it's popping, you just put it back in and hope for the best, right?
Absolutely. The correction surgery takes way too long for you to recover. And if you can play through the pain, and it's only when it pops out that it really does hurt. If you're not a player who's going to extensively use that shoulder, by that I mean not for tackling, but if you're not a person who's throwing, this time plan move from Trinity finds Manusha. Manusha trying to wave his way through, has already scored 2 tries this season. Tyson at that time could have done well to give that ball out. Crashing onto that ball was Sadisha this time. Trinity dropping it cold. Opportunity for Zahira to clear it, and this is a good kick. Fine in the 22, but a lackadaisical chase gives enough time for Sean Altaf to put it out.
And you could see Altaf respecting the chase there. He knew that they're not here to run and score 40 points against this Zahira side. Certainly not. Settling it down and just making sure that they don't concede before half-time, because there's still just 1 score in it. And Trinity are by no means safe, so they have to make sure they take some good decisions in this particular period for the next 10 minutes.
Yes, Trinity will be concerned about the fact that they haven't been able to finish a lot of moves in this past 10 to 15 minutes. Zahira, on the other hand, will take a lot of confidence and a lot of pride in the fact that they've managed to upset the ball from Trinity. Yet again, that time, Iyad Yusuf getting into contact and he's feeling that pressure and pain. Zahira setting it up off that line out. Once calls the referee. Now to the backs. Should have given it out, but opts to keep it with him, Zahim. Space in the corner now. Nippy feet of Saraf. Marked by Trinity, putting pressure. That's going to be a penalty. Could it be cynical? But referee Shankar Bekun is happy with only the penalty. Trinity will consider themselves lucky because it could be interpreted as cynical. Obstructing play and killing the ball in this modern age is really frowned upon.
But you can see how easily they got cut open there. And that's Usman coming through. And could have been interpreted as cynical. But you can see the coaching staff of both Royal and Isipatana just edging closer to the edge of their seats there. Sudarshana, is there some space? Have we found something in this Trinity defense that has been so good for the first couple of weeks? Have we found something that we can exploit?
Well, this is unforgivable for Zahira College. They've been found guilty of a fake throw. Brilliant position to attack from, and they've just thrown it away. Altaf will do look comply and say, I'll put some distance between our goal line. Doesn't find touch. Here's Hakim putting it up. Malik with a step and a kick of his own. Nobody at the back. Scampering run by the 15 for Zahira. Basit Feroz. Still inside the 22. Need to try and get their exit right. Like Shanika mentioned, the exit is a very important part of the game. Lovely pass with in contact that time. And Big Arfat Ahmed carries it forward for Zahira. Now the kick from the base. Altaf charging to it. Puts a boot out. Brings his footballer out. Channeling Nalakavira Kodianachi.
It was a really good kick, and it was even better chase. Zahira getting after that, and they've really honed in on Shan Altaf like piranhas in a tank spotting some prey. Watch them coming at him, and he knows it, and there is no option because he just couldn't get there. So can Zahira redeem themselves? They're about 60 meters away from their last line out, but still going, and that was crooked as well, but no contest.
Zahirians taking the advantage of Trinity not contesting that ball, still going forward. Referee clearly showcasing to Satish Kumar that he had to go back. Quickly taken by the Zahirian halfback. Seems like there was friendly fire on field. Two Trinitians on the floor with head collision. Now space on the outside for Zahira. Little dink. Sean loses it, and here's the second Amana Bank try. This time it's Abdul Hassan. Just like that, scores are level here at the Royal Complex, and anything can happen here. Zahira College, just brilliant stuff. Two men went to the ground for Trinity, which created that mismatch, and on the outside, Trinity have been guilty of giving a lot of space.
Well, that umbrella defense didn't work because he was not starting wide out enough. Nicely chased down, Abdullah Hassan scoring that try in the end, but I thought the kick was probably not the best option at that point. Thought they should have kept it in hand, but Shan Altaf, unfortunately for Trinity, spilling that one, an uncharacteristic error from the fullback, and allowing Zahira to perhaps go into the lead if this very difficult conversion, oh dear, falls over just during the backswing. How unlucky was that, and how costly could that be in the final analysis?
Oh, absolutely. Very, very unlucky that time, the kicker. He was halfway through, 90% through his kicking stride, so he had to make contact with it. But the crowd now getting behind the Zahirians, giving them that impetus, giving them that extra energy. 12 points all with just over 3 minutes to play in this half. Malik restarts, short, high-hanging kick. Nobody wants it from Zahira. This is not ideal for the Zahirians. They need to try and hold on to every single ball that comes their way.
Zahira again guilty of being a little complacent immediately as they scored. We talked about this period, Sudarshana, before half-time. How crucial is that score going to be? We'll find out in just over another half of rugby. But so far, after the initial salvo, Zahira have been very good. Satish Kumar going off the back. Vijay Kohn. Shan Altaf now trying to make amends, puts that big left-handed fend in, but dragging him down that time was Lukman. Safraz manages to get it away, and here's Big Jayasena in the line. Into the 22 go Trinity. They know they need to score before this half ends. Lovely ball again. The front, the tight five forwards handling beautifully there in little space. Malik, long ball out to Shan Altaf now, has to make a decision and makes a decision to give it to Shran Satish Kumar. Vijay Kohn. Nice line by Abdin Hamza. Some space opening up for Trinity, but the pass is not accurate. The referee will call them back though for the man who's lying down in backfield.
Well, seems like it's one of the Trinity jumpers who are on the field. Could be Akash Fernando. Yes, Akash Fernando is the one who's on the field. That pass, not finding the intended recipient. Referee Sankalpana having a good look.
This is a bit of a momentum killer for Trinity because they did have quite a bit of it in the last few moments since that kickoff was dropped. But unfortunately, they've had a stoppage and half-time looming. Will this help Trinity? Looks like they have a penalty coming, so they will be asking Altaf to knock this one over. He's got the tee in his hand. So it looks like he will be taking the kick. So Trinity will want to take even a slender lead into half-time with them, and why not? So this is another important time in the game here. But the Trinitians again not creating as much as you would like them to.
Yes, I think Trinity have now realized that the Zahirian counterparts demand a little more respect that they would have initially intended of giving. It's knockout rugby, and as we mentioned, points are the name of the game. Altaf's connection, no problem. The referees say it's not through.
Well, it's these short posts here that are creating a little bit of trouble for Shan Altaf. used to kicking them from much longer out, Sudarshana. Maybe he hasn't been trading the easy ones. But it looks like it is half-time here, and as much as Trinity would have liked to take 3 points into half-time with them, it's going to be a concerned huddle for Fazil Marja and his coaching team, and a pleasantly surprising huddle for Zahira, Radhika Hettiarachchi and his crew. Lots more to expect in the next 35 minutes of rugby here at the Royal College Sports Complex as we view the first semi-final of the Dialog Schools Knockout Tournament. We'll be back after the break.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex. Get. Spray. Go.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත චමරි
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproof දැම්මා නම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නැහැ හිතටත් නිදහස්
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල්ඩ් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා
That was summer refreshment the train එකකට go
Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක් Radials. The road is yours.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
ලස්සන පන්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කක සිත බැඳා මාතේ ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් දපේ හිටක බදේ හොටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගෙස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පන්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කක සිත බැඳා මාතේ ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් දපේ හිටක බදේ හොටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගෙස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
එක පැත්තකින් වහගෙන ඉඳි තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිටියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Follow your dreams, achieve your goals. With every step, let your story unfold. In this world you will shine, just believe it's your time. Sky is the ultimate limit, never can you stop anything.
Chase your dream career with eSoft Metro Campus.
Tokyo Super ඕන වැඩකට සුපර්.
Nava Rexona Sports Defense 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Are you okay? Whose fault is this? Looks like someone didn't use Tokyo Superbond for tiling. Tokyo Superbond. Do it right the first time.
Park Avenue. Long-lasting fragrance. Unshakable confidence.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තියේ කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මුකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Saratama enjoy karanga party ekata go.
Night Go pocket perfume. Youth ekata go ekak.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක. බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්තු පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස.
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Dawasama refresh when the train ekata go.
Night Go pocket perfume. Youth ekata go ekak. Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක. බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්තු පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස.
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility.
Welcome back to live pictures from the Royal College Sports Complex of this first semi-final of the Dialog Schools Knockout Trophy. Of course, we're expecting a big semi-final on Sunday as well when Isipatana take on Royal. Both of them would have been favourites for the title earlier on, but now they're going to have to make sure that one of them gets to the final at the expense of the other. And here's a recap of the matches from the quarterfinals. St. Thomas is taking on Trinity, the current semi-finalists, in a 24-15 reversal. And, these are the highlights of that game. And then Royal taking on a spirited DS Senanaika side. That was 141 points to 24 by Royal, coming back strongly after a bit of a scare against Kingswood. And then we had the much anticipated Wesley versus Isipatana clash. And although Wesley flattered only to deceive, Isipatana were quite dominant in the second half. Superb performance from the younger of the Zumri brothers, Shakib, wearing the number 8 jersey this season for Isipatana. Then we had Ananda taking on Richmond as well in the Premier Trophy. 62 points to 7 in favour of Ananda. Then Kurunagala boys coming down to Colombo. Malia, they were taking on St. Benedict's. And then we have the highlights of today's match. This was in the very first minute of play. Manusha Silva, the very mobile loose head prop forward for Trinity, falling over in the first minute. And it looked like it might be a long afternoon at that time for Trinity, and especially after Shan Altaf haired down the touchline in what was a completely unexpected counter-attack and a superb 60-meter try from the young fullback. And then Zahira getting their own back off a driving maul, not the kind of try that we're used to seeing Zahira score. And they managed to get their 7-pointer after Abdullah Hassan bent this one back, and then the try of the match so far, with Abdullah Hassan scoring that one as well in the far corner.
Zahira College, the restart, not ideal. This is not what they would have hoped for. They would have wanted to make sure that they kept that momentum with a good restart, but kicking it out was Hakim Chunchi. So opportunity for Trinity early in this game, a centre field scrum. options on either side. Both the coaching staffs would have spoken harshly to both sets of teams, because remember, Zahira, if they didn't make those mistakes early, it would have been a different ball game altogether. Would have been, they would have been on the up. Trinity have managed to score both times through mistakes of Zahira. Satish Kumar with the break. Now Trinity going to the corner. Yadhege brings it to the ground. Referee Abekon thought about the penalty but changed his mind, wanting to let the game flow. Jaya Sena now with the carry. The young lock have been impressive so far for Trinity. Altaf with space decides to run, needs support, gets it through his winger who clears it. Koditoaku to Usman. Now Onija Koditoaku carries it forward for Trinity inside the 22 meters. Referee plays advantage. Satish Kumar loses the ball forward after that carry, but referee Abekon will have a word with his AR, Kehan Yatavara, who seems to have spotted something on the far side.
Thinking of taking up a lip reading course, Sudarshana, to prepare us for this season. Will you join me?
I think that will really help all of us. And our viewers will be very, very appreciative of that. Rifna's rim shot being spoken to. That's a warning against the Zahirian lock. So now decisions to be made for the Trinity camp, and they've gone to the corner. They don't want to just play with points. It was an intelligent call from them to go for 3 points, because they wanted to go into the half-time with the lead. But here, they want to arrest the momentum early in the second half.
Yes, it's a good, positive call. They'll have to make sure they score, though. This is where Zahira did manage to repel one of Trinity's attacks earlier on in the first half. They'll be looking to try and do that again. Plenty of chat between Yatavara and Abekon to make sure they get everything right. And now the call doesn't seem so flash, Sudarshana.
Yes, now a call of 3 points would have been so much better, but Trinity would be thinking that they've gotten possession still inside the 22 meters. It's another life and another opportunity for the forwards to regather, regroup.
So the thinking there, Sudarshana, is Zahira are the firm underdogs going into this match. The kind of form that Trinity have shown in the pre-quarters and the quarters, you have to say they were the favorites. So every time they go back and make a mistake, they're just giving a little bit more momentum, a little bit more confidence to Zahira. I would have knocked over the 3 there, definitely.
Satish Kumar of the Hardy and inside ball to Akash Fernando. Now Udan Vijayakon wanting the forwards to get in on the act, try and attack the close quarters, try and suck in the defense. Earlier they were looking to play wide, but found out that their handling wasn't supporting them. Now wanting to try and suck up that Zahirian defense before they go wide, Trinity. And the forward says, we'd love some action. Credit to Zahira for having that discipline so far. They've marshaled that close quarters very well. They would have studied Trinity's attacking. But this physical combat is going to take a toll on both set of forwards. And will Zahira be able to try and hold on as Trinity come inches away? Hands on the ground, so He couldn't reach out. Seems like they've lost it forward. Jayasena loses it forward. Opportunity for Zahira. Looking to make a counter. So scrum in favor of Zahira. Good defensive work paying dividends for the Zahirians.
Well, you can see what the team talk was all about, isn't it, Sudarshana? They've said narrow down the attack. Let's not go wide too early. We need to make inroads close to the fringe, and that's exactly what Trinity did. But somehow, again, their execution, their ball handling, which has been the bane of this season so far. I know this season is only 2.5 games, but they really need to put some glue on this ball.
That time around, it was Jayasena being with the snake of Hamza with him. Both of them very lanky lads, doesn't have a lot of muscle, and the latch from Hamza wasn't ideal, didn't secure that ball, which is why Zahira managed to put pressure on that. Hassan clears it, only just. So opportunity for Trinity now. They really need to make sure that they hit their marks on this. They cannot go back without points from this point onwards, because that would really affect their psychological output on this game.
And you have to give credit to Zahira's defense so far. They've managed to push them back from a 5-meter line out, force the error, and they've managed to hold them out also with all those pick and go phases that Trinity managed to put together. So it's nicely to the front of the line out. They do a little bit of a peel move, but oh dear, it looks like the referee's called it back for something, maybe not going the 5 meters.
Well, it did surely go the 5 meters because it was collected at the back of the line out. Let's see whether we can spot it, because we have absolutely no problem because it was collected by the number 7. I have a feeling it was lost forward.
Yes, it was lost forward, and that's the handling letting them down again, Sudarshana. This is becoming a little bit of a broken record situation. That absolutely had to be scored. It was 2-on-1, and they needed to take it.
Trinity is showcasing their large repertoire of moves when it comes to line out. Put pressure on that Zahirian scrum. The number 8 well marked by Satish Kumar. Here's Hassan. Under pressure. Finds decent distance, but not touch. Altaf still on the move. That's a high shot and might get one more player from Zahira College sent to the bin.
He's so elusive that just not getting him. It's got that big fend, and once the second tackler saw the fend coming, oh dear, that's got to be a yellow at least, Sudarshana.
His contact directly on the head. Unfortunately, we don't have the referee mic as we mentioned, and that is going to be 10 minutes for Binuk Pereira in the naughty chair. So numerical advantage for Trinity. Remember, Zahira during the first half for 10 minutes have played with 14 minutes on the field. 14 men on the field rather, but still have managed to come away with 12 points all into the 42nd minute of the game. So that's something they will look at. Again, they have to try and play with 14 men and keep the Trinitians under wraps.
Sean Altaf recovers from that high shot and puts Trinity into the red zone of Zahira College. Just about 7 or 8 meter short. They will have to make this line out count. It's 12 points off, 43rd minute of play.
Kodituaku this time finding Nakash, changing the point of attack, and Trinity now goes rumbling through. Trinity well touchdown for that third Amana Bank try, and coming away with that was Hamza Abdeen. Or was it Nisit Kumar Singh? We'll have to see. Trinity's co-vice captain not celebrating because he knows there needs to be so much more work done. Akash Fernando collected it.
Nicely done here. This is what Trinity would have liked to see more of in the first half. Good execution of the set piece, Sudarshana. Akash collected it in front, but then transferred it really nicely. And although Zahira managed to get in on the ball carrier, they were not prepared for the point of attack changing in the line out and just let that one in easy as you like.
Nisit Kumar Singh in the number 6 jersey, the try scorer for Trinity College. So Trinity take the lead 17 points to 12 with the conversion to come. This time around, no problem for Altaf.
Sean Altaf realizing that he cannot stray anywhere near either of the uprights today. So he smacked it straight down the middle just to make the assistant referee's job a little easier. And brilliant kicking from Altaf. The kicking has been good today. It's probably the best tactical kicking we've seen, but Zahira under pressure, just unable to clear their lines, and that's what caused them the grief.
Yes, I thought a couple of times Zahira, just in this half, leading up to Trinity's score, Zahira were guilty of not keeping the ball with them and making that angle a little better for the kicker and putting him on, without putting him under pressure. They could have held on to a couple of more faces before going to Hazan.
Kavindra Jayasena and Navin Jayasena in the same frame there, just for a moment. But two tough games back to back for Trinity. The Thomian one was closer than it said on the scoreboard. And now the Zahira one also looking like it's going to go the distance. So anybody who comes into the final is going to be pretty tired even from the other side, Sudarshana.
Well, I know, Shanaka, you didn't have to do this because traveling to Colombo does take a toll on the bodies as well. And Trinity, so far in this competition, have traveled thrice. And if they get over this Saharian hurdle, they will have to travel another time next week for the final. And that's a factor the team management will have to take a look at as well.
Nicely taken that time from Chunchi. Diagonal kick that time, but straight into the hands of Altaf, who will have a think about a run, but then opt for that long boot of his. Hassan is back. Altaf waits under pressure. Goes off the side of his boot, I think, and might even have got a touch. Chunchi steps one, steps another, but gets hammered in the end just over the halfway line. It's not held, so it's still going, Chunchi. Trinity just managed to get back. It was a desperate tackle by Abdul Malik that saved the day in the end. And now Zahira with their tails up. Rifnaz has to play half-back. And now into that position goes Basit Feroz finally. Trinity's defense will now be tested, and this is where it has really been their chief weapon all season. Ball in two hands, cutting back on the angle. Again, a penalty, Sudarshana. So what will Zahira do here?
Yeah, obviously, we'll look to go to the corner, Zahira. They were very keen on taking the penalties within kicking range, and this one seems like a little outside the kicking range of the general kickers, and they've just managed to find touch inside the 22 meters.
It was a wobbly old kick for that touch finder. Expected a little bit more. Hassan has a thumping boot on him. And a couple of other players who can kick, but I think there's some cramp going on as well. Hakim Chunchi, his leg's not completely all right.
Crucial line out for the Zahirians. Pressure from Trinity, and have managed to steal that ball off the line out. Udan gives it to Malik, who clears, only finding about 10 meters, right on the 22-meter mark.
Well, this is where Zahira have not been good, Sudarshan. Their line-out hasn't functioned well. Every time Trinity throw a man up in defense, then that line-out crumbles under pressure. And this is something they have to work on, not just for this match, but of course for the season. That's better from them. Shortened line-out.
Very well set line-out. Once calls the referee, and the Nipi scrum off. Breaks away. He has support as well through Zain Zaim. Now Zahira getting their forwards to do some work. Truck and trailer. Attacking the closer quarters will be the Zahirians. Trinity will be tested. Mr. Kumar Singh had hesitated there and should have let it go, but thought of following through with it, and he's going to be penalized.
Lucky to be only penalized, I think, in the red zone with Zahira building a little bit of momentum, and the referee told him to get out of there, or at least we're sure he probably told him to get out of there, but kept going for it, and I think in that zone, probably a little lucky to escape with just a penalty there. So Zahira now with an important scrum. Couple of replacements on for the Zahira team as well. And look for Shahib Ishan to come off the back here, but it's untidy once again. Going straight into that tackle is Zain Zahim. Had to do that because the options inside him had broken down already. Zahira will try to keep the ball in hand, and this is probably not their best option against a Trinity defense that is man for man, much stronger than them. Great upper body strength from the Trinitians, but Zahira willing to take them on up front, which is good confidence, but also maybe straddling the line between bravery and strategy. Raihan Rushan is the man who shovels it back. Listening that time was the Trinity Jackler. Rushan goes off his feet, but referee letting that one go. And the terraces here at the Royal College Sports Complex erupting with cries of Zahira. Now it goes out. Trinity's defense sound again, but the offload is good, and Chunchi gets absolutely hammered. Wasn't expecting that pass, didn't know what to do with it, and now the forwards have to regroup. Good discipline from the Trinitians after that error from Nisit Kumarasinghe earlier on. It's also been good ball protection from Zahira. Nice offload. That time he's isolated, but Zahira do well to get there. It was Rushan who just got there in time. Here they go again, through the fringes. Trinity will be desperate for the turnover. They got their hands on the ball, have they? No, Manusha just couldn't. But Zahira still going, and here's that line speed. Ball went backwards. Chunchi not calling for it yet. Here they go again. Now they're ever so close, 3 meters from the line. Again, good body position from Zahira, making sure that the Trinity Jackalers are neutralized. And that's brilliant work. That one wasn't neutralized. Onija Korituaku getting over that ball. It was a matter of time because Zahira was just tiring out, smashing against this great wall of Trinity. And unfortunately for them, they had to cough it up at a crucial moment.
Brilliant stuff from Korituaku. Take a look at that. And also Manusha Silva rolling away, making sure that he gives that opportunity for the oncoming player to try and jackal that ball. It's very important passage of defending from Trinity College, who will breathe a big sigh of relief. Zahira, on the other hand, that would have taxed them a little bit wave after wave after wave of attack. One fault I'll find in that attack, Shanaka, is when the ball went a little wide. Seems like they did not know what to do with that ball. The forwards didn't know whether they were going to continue hitting the closer ranks, or the backs didn't know whether they were going wide.
Yes, absolutely right, Sudarshana. And that's where some teams just run out of a little bit of imagination later on as the phases keep going on. And it's still early in the season, so they probably haven't had the time in training to prepare for that, and the experience in training also to make sure that they play those 5, 6, 7 phases and still have options at the end of it. But the amount of time that these guys spend training, you've got to wonder whether it's something that they really need to pay some attention to. Superb work from Koditoakku there. And as you said, working in tandem, Sudarshana, Manusha moved out very quickly so that Koditoakku could go over that ball and make sure he was still legal.
This line out is going to be absolutely crucial for the Trinitians in order to have some forward momentum. Seems like Nisit Kumarasinghe's day has come to an end, with Dilshan Thomas coming onto the field for Trinity. And also Manusha Silva being tended to underneath the post. So there could be another replacement that comes in for him, because managing these players are going to be very important.
Zahira rigging the replacements as well. And that's good to see. There's some good depth from them. And we're seeing Lukman Nadim, who goes to the bench. I'll tell you who replaced him in just a moment.
That's not straight. And that was Kevin not straight because of the fact that Zahira decided to put the man up. Beautiful work from the Zahirians. Trinity trekking back, and the ball, well, even if Zahira did not put the man up, that would have been awarded not straight, because Hamza had to reach to his right side to collect that ball. Couple of new jerseys in that front row, so this scrum is going to be interesting. Straight away, referee has to reset it.
Well, it's an early shove that time, and we have Tuan Rahim on the near side here in at tight head position. Ishan Kabekun telling him exactly what he needs to do. And Dilshan Thomas, the loose head side. Two not small lads, safe to say they won't make an under 85 team anytime soon. But managing to get things right this time around as Zahira attack.
Zahirians going through the line, the big gaping gap. But a Hail Mary tackle on that time on him by the replacement keeps things under wraps for Trinity. Big tackle from Thomas. He's just come on to the field, needs to make his presence felt. Zahira with ball in hand, looking dangerous. Looking to continue now to the forwards, and here's Rahim Rushan carrying it for the Zahirians. Trinity trying to organize the defense, and they do that beautifully on the short side, matching up the numbers. Hamza Abdeen have been absolutely brilliant, being that omnipresent number 7. This time Abdullah putting ball to boot. Finds Altaf. Altaf with a fend. Altaf still on the move. Little bit of a goose step. Needs support. Altaf, who goes to ground. Leaves it and collects it again. Brilliantly done by the fullback. Here's Thomas with the carry. Didn't have support. Cunningly holds on to that ball. Udan. Now the Trinity backs. Osman's passes to no one. Here's Yadehige, who has been largely silent. Has support and offloads. In the corner are the Trinitians. 4 men in that truck. Didn't need that. Usman Safraz, the bounce is good, and he says, I'll touch this one, but that will be concerning for Trinity College, despite that Amana Bank try. When he got on to the in goal, he started limping Alta Usman. Well, you spoke about how he may not be too sure about his navy as Altaf converts his keeper's score to add 2 more points. Spoke about how he wasn't too sure about his knee in the early exchanges, but now seems like he's gotten that confidence in. It was a left-footed little dink. So take a look at Altaf's conversion.
Nothing like a little bit of pressure to make sure that fear just leaves your body, Sudarshana. And this is unfortunate for Zahira. That's the number 5, Akif Azmil, who's carried off. Looked like that cramp was pretty bad for him. Scarves just tightened up. And he just went down very quickly. Now there's a bit of a smile on Shan Altaf's face now that he's got 2 scores between him and the opposition. So this was always going to be the case, Sudarshana, against a much better conditioned team. We spoke about conditioning in the first few minutes of the game as well. And as brave as Zahira have been so far, they've got to make sure they don't let the floodgates open now.
Absolutely, especially with some of the finishers coming into the ranks as well for Zahira. You need to be able to hold on to that same structure. But Usman Altaf, very good thinking by him, managing to put that little dink, and ball being lucky bounce helping him. Trinity though have stuck to their guns. They've kicked anything inside the 22 meters. They didn't want to play rugby inside their own 22. Shanak, I think the only time that they deviated from that memo was when they took on the Tomians last week. There were a couple of instances they were looking to run from their own 22, which did give them some good momentum as well, because they recognized that the Tomians were guilty of not fanning out in defense.
Well, I think they started off this game as well, Sudarshana, wanting to do exactly that. But I think Zahira's defense was absolutely superb in the first half, and that's when they had to settle down, where Shan Altaf had to control things a little bit, make sure he knocked the ball back and behind Zahira, and play a bit more of a traditional game, go back to their forwards, try and make sure they smashed Zahira up front, and it's since then that the tries have come for them.
Again, a good line out from Zahira College. Managing to get the ball to the back. The replacement halfback gets the ball out. Straightening run from the Zahirians. Again, looking to go on the open side. The nippy scrum out from Zahira. Afam Abdi, wearing that number 9 jersey, started off from the bench. Now the big man, Tuan Imras, who's with his first touch, carries it for Zahira. Again, another big lad, Navid Nishan, from the bench. Trinity managing to hold him up, rips the ball away. Satish Kumar. Ridma makes it available. Satish Kumar trying to clear it, but that's going to be a penalty. You had the right to the ball, my friend, but through the gate.
I don't know, Sudarshan. I think that was pretty unlucky because the counter ruck was good and the gate opened up. He was well past the ball. He picked it up. If we can see that one again, we'll try and see what referee Shankar Bekun saw there.
Yes, the counter-ruck was absolutely on point for Zahira College. I believe the problem there was, as we take a look at that, Satish Kumar was guilty of not playing that ball and wanting to try and close it up.
So that's where the counter-ruck was. And, well, that ruck's over. And he can come in from there. Not sure what that issue was.
Again, unfortunately, we do not have that explanation because we do not have the referee mic, nor did we have the exact signal as to why that penalty was awarded. Zahira making a few more changes. Altaf consulting the referee and asking him how long do we have left, sir? The answer would have been we have over 10 minutes to play in this game. 26 points to 12. Opportunity now for Trinity inside the 22 meters to try and capitalize here.
We talked about this in the first game as well, didn't we, Sudarshana? Even though Trinity put 62 points on St. Anthony's, we talked about the kind of tries they scored, that it was more individual brilliance tries. And that's something that they want to try and construct, more team tries to make sure that they're ready for the bigger opposition that they're going to come up against. They're going to come up against a team that's equally conditioned like them, regardless of whether it's Isipatana or Royal that they face in the final, assuming that it's 12 points too far, 14 points too far for Zahira to go in this next 10 minutes. But this is the kind of place where they need to tighten things up. It's all well and good to be able to run from everywhere, but these are the things that win you games.
Trinity takes ball to ground, will call on the forwards to try and do the hard yards from here. Attacking the shorter side that time was the replacements. Number 22 for Trinity, Ridmani Math, coming in place for Dan Vijay Kohan. Zahira managing to rip that ball away. Some wiggling stuff for Trinity. Still managing to hold on to possession though, and the call from the assistant referee has come that it did go forward.
Well, we're in our cabin here, Sudarshana, but I think the assistant referee's call would have been aided by the entire grandstand here at Royal College, because everyone seemed to see that forward pass. And here it is. There's nothing wrong with that, but it's this one here that was forward.
Yet again, a couple of cramps really pestering the Zahirians and also some of the Trinity lads as well. It's quite humid, which is why, Shanika, I was a little surprised. I was astonished really on how well the New Zealand under-85 took on the game at Nithavala. They were really losing a lot of water through sweat, but still managed to make sure that they finish out the game. We didn't see that many cramps, but conditions in Colombo might be a little bit more different. However, in the past couple of days in Colombo, the evening time has been the most difficult and has been the most humid. So on the lights tomorrow, it's going to be an interesting one.
Yes, it's going to be a slippery ball, that's for sure. If it doesn't rain, the humidity is going to be pretty high as well, as we see finally Iyad Yusuf going off with that shoulder in a sling. So hope it doesn't spell the end of his season, because he's a very important man, especially in the line-out and in the loose for Zahira. So hopefully he will recover pretty quickly, and that's a simple fix for a dislocated shoulder, which is what it looks like. But it's called conditioning, Sudarshana, and these guys, the New Zealand under-85s, even though they're not a professional team, you could see the difference between their conditioning and ours as Trinity pile in there and try to get this ball back, and Zahira do well to win it. But right now, you can see that Zahira have emptied the bench, and the depth is not exactly what this Trinity can, not the quality that can contain this Trinity side.
Zahirians are not managing to hold on to the ball with the oncoming pressure of the Trinity defense, just throwing it around, not holding on to that ball and not following the script the coaches would have laid on for them. However, the loose ball was not collected cleanly by the Trinitians. So scrum in favor of Zahira, still in their red zone. Will have to make sure that they try and clear it. That time Ridma got interested, but the ball wasn't entirely inside the aisle.
Yeah, the ball needs to be hooked, which means that it needs to go through one of the channels of the front row, and that one certainly wasn't. It popped out the side. Watch it here. It just pops out the tunnel and didn't go through the front row to the legs of one of the back row forwards.
Well, that time Evan Jayasena had the good sense to not touch the ball. He thought about it, because if he did touch that, that would have been a penalty in favor of Zahira. Seems like there is a player that needs to be sent out on a blood bin. Injury to the referee is not going to be letting a player with that kind of condition on his face continue. An interesting thought on the under-19 rules, isn't it? Some of these boys are not under 19 per se, they're 19 plus. And I think it's important if we can maybe shift on to the under-20 rules, where we play for the full 80 minutes, and also the scrum is not limited to the 1.5 meters. Would better prepare these young lads for what's up next when it comes to domestic rugby.
Certainly will, Sudarshan. It will be a much better preparation, that's for sure. The counterpoint to the argument is we've got so many schools with varying degrees of skill, and even more with varying degrees of size. And in terms of technique, may not be as well coached as some of the other schools. Resources are diversely distributed. So as a result of that, we could have a situation where if we do play the under-20 rules, we have one smaller school, literally and metaphorically a smaller school, being completely decimated in the scrum, and you don't want that. You don't want life-threatening neck injuries and things like that. So I see why the school section is playing this on the under-19 rules, given the resources we have within the under-19 A division, which is a huge disparity among the haves and the have-nots, so to speak.
Well, due to the under-19 rules, the opposition will only be able to try and shove you 1.5 meters, and Trinity have managed to outhook that ball with that 1.5 meters range, but Zahira have managed to rip it apart. Now opportunity for Zahira to put in a counter. Big tackle coming in on the Zahirian number 8, Shahi Bishan. It's the big prop forward from the bench, Riaz. With the thumb, Altaf puts a stray hand, doesn't hurt him much. Now options, little dink, and he will chase with the ball going into touch. The coaching staff says should have put it a little higher up.
Well, he's become a very good game manager, hasn't he, Sudarshan, over the close season. I think spending a bit of time with Fazil Marija and making sure he just picks up as much as he can from the really experienced Kandy and Sri Lanka fly half. Just knows exactly when to slow the game down and when to kick, when to run. It's tempting. There are a lot of fullbacks that like to attack without even thinking about it, to counter-attack, but he's managed to do both.
Here's Zahira through a line out, looks to run. Well-timed tackle, puts pressure on the ball carrier for Zahira College, who loses it forward. That was brilliantly timed by the Trinitian defender. Now trying to taunt Benuk Pereira. take a look at that. Number 26 for Trinity, Dimat Ambepitia, knew where the pass was going, put his head down and got the timing right.
We've got to talk about a Swiss Tech man of the match as well. 5 minutes left on this game, Sudarshana, and a few candidates that have come up. Shan Altaf has set up a couple of tries and scored a brilliant one, kicked some points for Trinity as well. The forwards have not been as brilliant. And unfortunately can't keep his feet, the replacement for Zahira Abdul Muzil. And here they are here. Space on the outside. They desperately need to get this ball out as quickly as they can. Now they've spotted it, but it might be a little too late. And there's the ball over the top. Trinity have folded in on this defense. Here's Hassan. And the ball battered into touch by Shan Altaf. Interesting to see whether that was a penalty or not, to knock that ball into touch.
I think he used his feet on that occasion.
Let's have a look at this. Here's the ball on the outside. It's Talib Hassan, who's got plenty of gas. And yeah, that ball does get volleyballed into touch. So interesting that it wasn't a penalty to Zahira College. Coming back to our conversation about man of the match. I think Abdin Hamza has been pretty good today. Usman Safras has come through as well, the captain, carrying his injury but scoring an important try.
Here's an opportunity for Zahira College, well set, but the resistance from Trinity is good, have come through the ranks. Satish Kumar again trying to unsettle that. Very unfortunate. The Butterfingers really affecting the Zahirians. Have to track back all the way now. Ideally there, the kick from base would have done them well, Shanika, rather than trying to play the ball without real plan, because most of the forwards are trekking back from the other side of the field. Thomas, the fact that he went in with both hands trying to catch that ball saves him. Coming back to the conversation of the player of the match, I do agree. Hamza Abdin has been really good, and so was the skipper. But this kind of game, a real boogie game, you need Shan Altaf's contribution of controlling the game, like you mentioned, really stood out for me, Shanika, because if not for that try, the second try that Shan Altaf scored, Trinity would have been in a dire strait going into the halftime as well.
Yes, and he's the one who took them into that territory also to be able to score those tries. So I would agree with you, Shan Altaf has been head and shoulders above everyone else this afternoon. But you have to say that Zahira have really lost it in their halves combination, don't they, Sudarshana? They've defended manfully. They were toe-to-toe with Trinity for a large part of this game. But it's their halves that haven't made the exactly correct decisions. They haven't put people into space when there was a little bit available. And there's not enough of a threat closer to the breakdown for Zahira. There's a lot of work that goes through 12. And I think that Zain Zahim has been really good. And he's done a lot of work, and you can see he's really tired on the pitch even now. But the fact remains that 9 and 10 need to take a little bit more responsibility for Zahira.
Absolutely, I do 100% agree with you. Shanika Basit Feroz, who was wearing the number 15 jersey, was in that number 9 position today, having to work with Hakim Chunchi. And Zahira College managing to really unsettle Trinity. If they, for some reason, Afam Abdin, who has the number 9, on his shirt came in from the bench. Maybe he's nursing an injury, so the coaches didn't want to give them that all 70 minutes. So the ideal combination was not present. Evin Jayasena being escorted out by the doctor and the Trinity physio. Hopefully nothing serious, because again Jayasena was also impressive. One of those players, lanky lad, 16-year-old, has 3 more seasons in him. As we take a look at some of the Zahirian support who's come out here in numbers. Really nice to see Zahira, one of those pioneering schools when it comes to schools rugby. Lost their way some time back, but have again put their focus on to making sure that they are a household name in these competitions.
Indeed, and celebrated their centenary as well recently, and have been one of the elder statesmen of Sri Lanka rugby, the first schools to start playing the game.
Now Zahira looking to run inside the 22, knows that this could be the last gasp to try and get closer to the Trinity mark. Referee saying get out of there to Satish Kumar.
They've shown flashes of promise, but they've also done things like this. And now Akash Fernando will try and finish things off in style for Trinity. Oh dear, brought him down safely, did he? Jumped into the tackle, and this is again something that we need to check, whether the jump was before the tackle, for the ball, after the tackle, or after he caught the ball. Whether the player could have done something different.
I believe it was for the ball, Shanaka, because there you go. He was trying to reach out for the ball and never jumped into the tackle. And I believe there was no malice on the defender as well, because he was going for the recipient to try and tackle him as soon as he caught the ball, but that pass was erratic, and the player who jumped up to collect that ball was tackled. Contact was made in the air. The defender, to his credit, managed to bring the player down, but the letter of the law is that you cannot make contact with a person in the air.
He brought him down safely. It's a bit of a difficult one, but that's the end of the game, and 29 points to 12 is how it finishes. The last act of the game is our Swiss Tech player of the match knocking it over for 3. Really difficult one there, because as you said, it's the pass that created the problem, and then the defender needs to go in. He's committed already. He's going in for the hit. He's got his shoulders down. He's not too high. What do you do in those situations?
Well, the thing with the rules is that, Shanaka, you are the responsibility of making sure that you time your tackles, and making contact with a man on air is a no-go in the game of rugby due to the new rules. You can see from the body languages of the Trinitians, they may have won the game, but they know what's coming at them in the next training session. They are not going to be very happy. They know that they haven't executed what they needed to as much as they possibly can. So they will have a long, hard look at what needs to be done. Zahira, on the other hand, absolutely impressive. They've used those 2 weeks to very good effect.
It's going to be a long bus ride back indeed for these Trinity College lads, as they put in a much better performance in the second half, though that was the first try that they managed to score. Shan Altaf making absolutely no mistake from the tee. And here's Usman Sarfraz, the skipper. This will do wonders for his confidence returning from injury. And even though he did go down with a cramp after this, I think he will know that he has that burst still left in him, the acceleration. And Altaf with the final rights of the game, but take nothing away from a Zahira team that defended manfully in the first half. Just couldn't take the heat, the pressure that Trinity brought up front, and it's a 4-try win to Trinity against 2 tries to Zahira. 3 conversions from the boot of Altaf, 1 conversion for Zahira College as well, and a penalty. And the Swiss Tech player of the match, Shan Altaf, the Trinity College co-vice captain.
Well, with that resource, Trinity College booked their place in the President's Trophy Dialog Schools Rugby Knockout final after a 12-year-long wait. Last time they did that was in 2013 under the captaincy of Halik Wadud, and they lost to Rahul De Silva's Wesley outfit, who went on to win that one. Upcoming fixtures on Sunday, we have the Premier quarter-final where St. Benedict's takes on Prince of Wales College at Sugadasa Stadium. That's at 1:30 p.m. Royal College taking on Isipatana College. That's going to be a cracker-lacking semi-final. Semi-final number 2 of the President's Trophy will be worked out at 3:45 p.m. That also at the Sugadasa Stadium. That's not all though. Tomorrow at 6 p.m. we will start our telecast of Sri Lanka taking on the New Zealand under 85 kilogram side at the racecourse. The second encounter, different looking Sri Lankan team, Chanaka, which will want to make sure that they put in a bigger shift at the capital.
Certainly will. The grandstand sold out, and free entrance, I'm sure, will be absolutely packed from early on in the afternoon. We'll bring you that game tomorrow live as well, with both of us and Scotty Stevenson in the commentary box as well. But until tomorrow, it's goodbye from us from the Papare.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Sri Lanka's #1 sports channel.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක.
තොමරි අක්කා. ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස් ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
රුපියල් 50 වැලිබන් සේවරි පොඩ්ඩෝ එක මැච් එකට සෙට් වෙන්න.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Seat Car Radials. The road is yours.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කක සිත බැන්දා මාතේ ෆයිවල් ෆැෂන් දපේ හික්කක බදේ වටේ හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි.
Keep sweating. Keep pushing the limits. Keep stepping up your game. Keep shining. Keep rising. No matter what your fitness goal is, we are always there by you, with you. Iodex, get, spray, go.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකෝ දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාෂීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
ජීවිතයම මිහිරයි මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් පෆ් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් මැලිබන් ලෙමන් පෆ් chill වෙන්න ලෙමන්
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
ලස්සන පල්ලෝකේ කොත්තුමි සරවිහිතේ හික්කක සිත බැන්දා ෆයිවර ෆැෂන් අපේ
හික්කක බදේ වටේ
හොටල් ස්පයිසි ගස් මාතේ රසේ ප්‍රීමා කොත්තුමි ෆාම් තමයි
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Seat car radials. Night Go pocket perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
එක පැත්තකින් වාගෙනදී තව පැත්තකින් මතුවෙනවා. මේ ටයිල් එක බෑ. දෙක තුනක් කැඩිලත් එක්ක. චමරි අක්කා.
ජීවිත කාලය පුරාම අල්ලන් ඉන්න නම් ටයිල් අල්ලන්න ඕන ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ටයිල් ඇඩිසිව් අල්ලන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Our mountains are majestic. They can be life-giving. Some are even sacred, and their heights bear marks of our heritage. Our mountains elevate us. To us, they are ever inspiring.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Seat car radials. The road is yours.
කොහෙන් හරි කමන්නේ ෆොටෝ එක තිබ්බනම් මට මේ බිත්තිය කැත වහගන්න තිබ්බා.
චමරි අක්කා.
පිත්තියට ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝඩ් ගාලා ෆිනිෂ් කළා නම් ඔය ප්‍රශ්න මොකුත් නැහැ.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ස්කිම් කෝට් ෆිනිෂ් එකට හොඳම කෙනා.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Follow your dreams, achieve your goals. With every step, let your story unfold. In this world you will shine, just believe it's your time. Sky is the ultimate limit, never can you stop any day.
Chase your dream career with eSoft Metro Campus.
That was summer refresh when the train got to go.
Night Go pocket perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
විහිළු නෙමේ ටෝකියෝ සුපර් ඕන වැඩකට සුපර්.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
විහිළු නෙමේ ටෝකියෝ සුපර් ඕන වැඩකට සුපර්.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Saratona enjoy කරන්න party එකට go
Night Go Pocket Perfume Youth එකට go එකක්.
හරි. ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
There is a rhythm to island life, where a walk is a dance, where there is work-life flexibility, where fun is serious, and where songs rise out of the sea. The unique and amazing facets of island living inspire us.
Bring that inspiration home. Lanka Tiles. Fine living. Redefined.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි. නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
හරි. ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස
තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Park Avenue, long-lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
වතුරත් ලීක් වෙලා. ස්ලැබ් එකත් ඉවරයි. බලන්නකො දැන් සාලේ කැත. චමරි.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාශීල් 2K waterproof දැම්මනම් වතුර කාන්දු වෙන්නෙත් නෑ. හිතටත් නිදහස්.
ස්විස්ටෙක් ඇක්වාශීල් 2K waterproofer සීල් කරන්න හොඳම කෙනා.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Park Avenue, long last.
හරි. ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එක.
බයද? ඒවටත් බෙහෙත් අපි ළඟ තියෙනවා. ඉඳගන්න.
උස්වත්ත පවුලින් හඳුන්වා දෙන රස ඇබ්බැහිය චර්පි චිප්ස් රිදෙන්න දැනෙන රස තව ඉන්ජෙක්ෂන් එකක් ගහමුද?
Park Avenue, long lasting fragrance, unshakable confidence.
Saratona enjoy කරන්න party එකට go.
Night Go Pocket Perfume. Youth එකට go එකක්.
Whose fault is this? Looks like someone didn't use Tokyo Super Seal for waterproofing. Tokyo Super Seal. Do it right the first time.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.
Creamy richness redefined. Smooth, soft, spreadable. Introducing Fondre with canola and sunflower oil.
නව රෙක්සෝනා ස්පෝර්ට්ස් ඩිෆෙන්ස් 72 hours order protection සමගින් පිරිමින් සඳහාමයි.